Start with this book today. The book name is Ikigai, as you can see here, and it was a book recommended by our professor. So there is ex libris. I don't know what that means. Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, written by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles, translated by Heather Cleary. Discover the Japanese secret to first whatever there is a habit of me. What I want to explain it. What happens that whenever I open a book, I first see the first page and then the last discover page because it tells a lot of things about the book. Discover the Japanese secret to long and happy life with internationally best-selling guide to Ikigai. What we love, what we are good at, what we can be paid for, what the world needs, what is your passion, what is your mission, what is your profession, what is your vocation. That comes in a small space. So the same thing I read in Bhagavad Gita also, that the Lord Krishna was explaining something to Arjun, that there is difference between a Dev and an Asur. And while I was reading it, there was not much difference. There was difference of only some emotional things or something like that. So let's read this and then go to that. The people of Japan believe that everyone has an ikigai, a reason to jump out of bed each morning. Inspiring and comforting, this book will give you the life-changing tools to uncover your personal ikigai. It will show how to leave urgency behind, find your purpose, nurture friendships, and throw yourself into passions. Bring meaning and joy to every day with ikigai. This is a book which I got from library. It's a little bit costly, 550 rupees. For my brother Ater, who said to me more often than anyone else, I don't know what to do with my life. Said by Hector Garcia, for all my past, present, and future friends, for being my home and my motivation along the way. Only staying active will make you want to live 100 years. Japanese proverb. Yes, I'm always active for anything, but not for the things which I should do and which I want to do. So this should doing and want to doing is a very tough battle. There's a prologue, Ikigai, a mysterious word. Let's read this first. Ikigai, a mysterious word. This book first came into being on rainy nights in Tokyo when its authors sat down together for the first time in one of the city's tiny bars. We had read each other's work but had never met. Thanks to the thousands of miles that separate Barcelona from the capital of Japan. I think Barcelona is in something Brazil or something like that. Maybe, I will see it. Then a mutual acquaintance put us in touch, launching a friendship that led to this project and seems destined to last a lifetime. The next time we got together, a year later, we strolled through a park in downtown Tokyo and ended up talking about trends in Western psychology, specifically logotherapy, which helps people find their purpose in life. We marked that Viktor Frankl's logotherapy had gone out of fashion among practicing therapists who favored other schools of psychology, though people still search for meaning in what they do and how they live. We ask ourselves things like, what is the meaning of my life? Is the point just to live longer, or should I seek a higher purpose? Why do some people know what they want and have a passion for life, while others languish in confusion? Basi, at some point in our conversation, the mysterious word ikigai came up. This Japanese concept, which translates roughly as the happiness of always being busy, is like logotherapy, but it goes a step beyond. It also seems to be one of the ways explaining the extraordinary longevity of the Japanese, especially on the island of Okinawa, where there are 24.55 people over the age of 100 for every 1 lakh inhabitants. Means there may be people aging 150 and 120, 130 also, far more than the average. Those who study why the inhabitants of this island in the south of Japan live longer than people anywhere else in the world believe that one of the keys, in addition to a healthful diet, a simple life in the outdoors, green tea, and the subtropical climate, its average temperature is like that of Hawaii, is the ikigai that shapes their life. While researching this concept, we discovered that not a single book in the field of psychology or personal development is dedicated to bring this philosophy to the West. Everything in the West went actually from the East, and what is the writer trying to say? Is ikigai the reason there are more centenarians in Okinawa than anywhere else? How does it inspire people to stay active until the very end? What is the secret to a long and happy life? As we explored the matter further, we discovered that one place in particular, Ogimi, a natural rural town on the north end of the island with a population of 3,000 boasts the highest life expectancy in the world, a fact that has earned its nickname the village of longevity. Okinawa is where most of Japan's shikushikuwasa, a lime-like fruit that packs an extraordinary antioxidant punch, comes from. Could that be Ogimi's secret to long life? Or is it the purity of water used to brew its moringa tea? We decided to go study the secrets of Japan's centenarian person. After a year of preliminary research, we arrived in the village where residents speak an ancient dialect and practice an animist religion that features long-haired forest sprites called Bunagaya. With our cameras and recording devices in hand, as soon as we arrived, we could sense the incredible friendliness of its citizens, who laughed and joked incessantly and amidst lush green hills fed by crystalline waters. As we connected our interviews with the eldest residents of the town, we realized that something far more powerful than just these natural resources was at work. An uncommon joy flows from its inhabitants and guides them through the long and pleasurable journey of their lives. Again, the mysterious Ikigai, but what is it exactly? How do you get it? It never ceased to surprise us that this haven of nearly eternal life was located precisely in Okinawa, where 200,000 innocent lives were lost at the end of World War II, rather than harbor animosity towards outside. However, Okinawans live by the principle of Ichariwa Kode, a local expression that means treat everyone like a brother, even if you have never met them before. It turns out that one of the secrets to the happiness of Ogimi's residents is feeling like part of a community. From an early age, they practice Vimaru or teamwork and so are used to helping one another, nurturing friendships, eating light, getting enough rest, and doing regular moderate exercise are all part of the equation of good health. At the heart of the joy they vibrate that inspires these centenarians to keep celebrating birthdays and cherishing each new day is their Ikigai. The purpose of this work is to bring the secrets of Japan's centenarians to you and give you the tools to find your own Ikigai, because those who discover the Ikigai have everything they need for a long and joyful journey through life. Happy travels, heterographia, and fancy minerals. Ikigai, the art of staying young while growing old. Let's see how many chapters are there. Oh, it's a small book. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chapters. First is Ikigai, the art of staying young while growing old, anti-aging secrets, little things that add up to a long and happy life, from logotherapy to Ikigai, how to live longer and better by finding your purpose, find flow in everything you do, how to turn work and free time into space for growth, masters of longevity, words of wisdom, and the longest living people in the world. I think people have lived more longer, like some sages and saints were there in India, which have lived to about 280 years or more than 700 years. They might be just claims because the places they live in are a bit tough to reach, and whatever. Uh, Japan called India Tenjuku. I heard in a short video in which a person explains some defense and India and geopolitics. He said, what does Tenjuku mean? It means that the land of spiritual knowledge and the land of whole knowledge. And I think all of the knowledge came from Africa and India, and then it went to the east and the west. So I think if that knowledge which went to Japan, I'm learning Japanese and Sanskrit, and I'm again reading that knowledge, am I bringing back or am I understanding what was actually told to them? Whatever it is, it's interesting to know this and connect all that. Lessons from Japanese centenarians, traditions and proverbs for happiness and longevity, the Ikigai diet for the world's longest living people eat and drink, gentle movements, longer life, exercise from the East that promote health and longevity, resilience and wabi-sabi, how to face life challenges without letting stress and worry age you, epilogue, Ikigai, the art of living, notes and suggestions for further reading. Okay, then let's read the first chapter. How long is it? How many pages it has? I always do it. Just 16 pages. That will be finished. Okay, the art of staying young while growing old. Actually, I'm very interested in reading books. That's why I think I'm doing this. Else, I would have been scrolling the reels and laughing on the memes and things which are made. Doing all that, and whatever is happening in India, it's a bit gruesome and it's a bit negative. The things are more negative given on social media. That's why I don't know why from the past 1 week I have ignored social media. I don't know how, but I think I got ignored because I was not getting the proper knowledge which I wanted because I am stick to things that I want. I don't accept everything. I think that's the reason I just my Instagram's total time went down. I was playing chess. Yeah, yeah. That is also procrastination. Out of what is your reason for being? According to the Japanese, everyone has an ikigai. What a French philosopher might call a raison d'être. Some people have found their ikigai, while others are still looking through. They carry it within them. Our ikigai is hidden deep inside each of us, and finding it requires a patient search. According to those born on Okinawa, the island with the most centenarians in the world, means the people who live more than 100 years, our ikigai is the reason we get up in the morning. There is a diagram. Yeah, this diagram is very famous. What you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and ikigai, and what is it? Passion, mission, vocation, and profession. That's ikigai. Whatever you do, don't retire. Having clearly defined ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and meaning to our lives. The purpose of this book is to help you find yours. Yours. Okay. The purpose of this book is to help you find yours and to share insights from Japanese philosophy on the lasting health of body, mind, and spirit. A surprising thing you notice living in Japan is how active people remain after they retire. In fact, many Japanese people never really retire. They keep doing what they love for as long as their health allows. See, in Indian culture, there is this purpose, this thing of retiring, and I think that is a little bit of odd culture. I know people want to retire early and spend lives. Like there are four ashrams, Bal ashram of the study time. Up to 25 years you have to study, and then 25 to 50 years you will have to go and make your family and run the grihast ashram, which we say. And from 50 to 75 is similar sort of that. And for the samaj, you do something. You are elder person, and from 75 you are sannyas, and those sannyasis live in ashrams that teach those 0 to 25-year-old people which are in their Bal ashram. That is also a good concept, but it doesn't apply today. And most of the people we see, like Warren Buffett made his more money when he crossed his 50 years of age. Means it was the power of compounding, and also this is the power that can actually bring, because there is experience that we get, and for the experience we get a lot more money, and in our young age we tend to gain that experience. It means you don't have to retire, bro. You don't have to retire. Okay. There is in fact no word in Japanese that means retire in the sense of leaving the workforce for good. Yes, there is no word for retire in Hindi or Sanskrit also. According to Dan Buchanan, a National Geographic reporter who knows each country well, having a purpose in life is so important in Japanese culture that our idea of retirement simply doesn't exist there. The island of almost eternal youth. Certain longevity studies suggest that a strong sense of community and a clearly defined ikigai are just as important as the famously helpful Japanese diet, perhaps even more so. Recent medical studies of centenarians from Okinawa and other so-called blue zones, geographic regions where people live longest, provide a number of interesting facts about these extraordinary human beings. Not only do they live much longer than the rest of the world's population, but they also suffer from few chronic diseases such as cancer, heart disease, inflammatory disorders also less common. Many of these centenarians enjoy enviable levels of vitality and health that would be unthinkable for people of advanced age elsewhere. Their blood test reveals fewer free radicals, which are responsible for cellular aging as a result of drinking tea and eating until their stomachs are only 80% full. Women experience more moderate symptoms during menopause, and both men and women maintain higher levels of sexual hormones until much later in life. The rate of dementia is well below the global average. The characters behind Ikigai. In Japanese, Ikigai is written as this. Actually, I was learning Japanese also, so I have a streak of more than 800 days. I started doing it because I liked anime. Yeah. Ikigai wa yasashi hon desu. Ikigai is in nice book. Combining this, which means life, with this means to be worthwhile. Life to be worthwhile can be broken down into the characters, which means armor, number one, and to be the first to head into battle, taking initiative as a leader, and which means beautiful or elegant. Though we will consider each of these findings over the course of the book, research clearly indicates that the Okinawans focus on Ikigai gives a sense of purpose to each and every day and plays an important role in their health and longevity. The five blue zones. Okinawa holds first place among the world's blue zones. In Okinawa, women in particular live longer and have fewer diseases than anyone else in the world. The five regions identified and analyzed by Dan Whitman in his book, The Blue Zones, are the Okinawa, Japan, especially the northern part of the island. The locals eat a diet rich in vegetables and tofu, typically served on small plates. I don't know where they get tofu. It's a little bit white. Do they have cows or buffaloes there who generate paneer or some sort of that tofu? I don't know, but it's a diet more favorable in Rajasthan, Haryana, parts of UP, and these are the only places where vegetarians can be found. And this is the only vegetarian area, and Rajasthan is the only state I think that which has most number of vegetarians. In addition to their philosophy of Ikigai, the Moai, or close-knit groups of friends, see page 15, plays an important role in their longevity. Page 15. Moai, connected for life. Okay, this is a small chapter, it will come. Sardinia, Italy, specifically the provinces of Nuoro and Ogliastra. Locals on this island consume plenty of vegetables and 1 or 2 glasses of wine per day. Wine? As in Okinawa, the cohesive nature of this community is another factor directly related to longevity. Loma Linda, California, researchers studied a group of Seventh-day Adventists who are among the longest living people in the United States. The Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, locals remain remarkably active after 90. Many of the region's older residents have no problem getting up at 5:30 in the morning to work in the fields. Ikaria, Greece, one of the every 3 inhabitants of this island near the coast of Turkey is over 90 years old, compared to less than 1% of the population of the United States, a fact that has earned it the nickname the Island of Long Life. The local secret seems to be a lifestyle that dates back to 500 BC, means 2526 years ago. In the following chapters, we will examine several factors that seems to be the keys to longevity and are found across the blue zones, paying special attention to Okinawa and its so-called village of longevity. First, however, it is worth pointing out that 3 of these regions are islands where resources can be scarce and communities have to fund together. Another, for many, helping others might be an ikigai, strong enough to keep them alive. According to scientists who have studied the 5 blue zones, the keys to longevity are diet, exercising, finding purpose in life, and forming strong social ties, that is, having a broad circle of friends and good family relations. Members of these communities manage their time well in order to reduce stress, consume little meat or processed food, and drink alcohol in moderation. They don't do strenuous exercise, but they do move every day, taking walks and working in their vegetable gardens. People in the blue zones would rather walk than drive. Gardening, which involves daily low-intensity movement, is a practice almost all of them have in common. The 80% secret, one of the most common saying in Japan is Hara Hachibu. Hachi means 8, but Hachibu means I think 80, and Hara means I think 80%, which is repeated before or after eating and means something like fill your belly to 80%. Okay. Ancient wisdom, Hachi, there was a movie in which the names is pet dog is Hachi or Ichi, I think, and it means 8. Advice against eating until we are full. This is why Okinawans stop eating when they feel their stomach reach 80% of this capacity, rather than overeating and wearing down their bodies with long digestive process that accelerates cellular oxidation. Of course, there is no way to know objectively if your stomach is at 80% capacity. The lesson to learn from this saying is that we should stop eating when we are starting to feel full. The extra side dish, the snack that we eat when we know it hurts, we don't really need it. The apple pie after lunch, the kachori, the samosa, the pani puri, the pizza, the burger, the french fries, whatever it's available, all these will give us pleasure in the short term, but not having them will make us happy in the long term. Gen Z will say, keep your mouth shut, you person. Let me eat this. What? क्या ही होगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा? The way food is served is also important. By presenting their meals on many small plates, the Japanese tend to eat less. A typical meal in a restaurant in Japan is served in 5 plates on a tray. 4 of them very small and the main dish slightly bigger. Having 5 plates in front of you makes it seem like you are going to eat a lot, but what happens most of the time is that you end up feeling slightly hungry. This is one of the reasons why Westerners in Japan typically lose weight and stay trim. Recent studies by nutritionists reveal that Okinawans consume a daily average of 1,800 to 1,900 calories compared to 2,200 to 3,300 in the United States, and have a body mass index between 18 and 22 compared to 26 or 27 in the United States. The Okinawan diet is rich in tofu, sweet potatoes, fish 3 times per week, and vegetables roughly 11 ounces per day. In a chapter dedicated to nutrition, we will see which health antioxidant-rich foods are included in this 80% Moai connected for life. It is customary in Okinawa to form close bonds with local communities. A Moai is an informal group of people with common interests who look out for one another, from many serving the community becoming part of the Ikigai. The Moai has its origin in hard times when farmers would get together to share best practices and help one another cope with meager harvests. Member of a Moai makes a set monthly contribution to the group. This payment allows him to participate in meetings, dinners, games, off-go, and shogi, Japanese chess, or whatever hobby they have in common. The funds collected by the group are used for activities, but if there is money left over, one member decides on a routine basis to receive a set amount from the surplus. In this way, being part of a Moai helps maintain emotional and financial stability. If a member of a Moai is financial trouble, he or she can get an advance from the group's savings, while the details of each Moai's accounting practices vary according to the group and its economic means. The feeling of belonging and support gives the individual a sense of security and helps increase life expectancy. Following this brief introduction to the topics covered in this book, we look at few causes of premature aging in modern life and then explore different factors related to Ikigai. I think it's a narrative. See, what happened before 1940s? There was Japanese army. It was placed on the third position even before Soviets. Soviets were fifth, and Japanese army was third. Because what they did was either die or die in die fighting. They didn't want to surrender. So that's why USA bombed them. And how they have developed is very much astonishing to the West. Now see India. 1100 is the time. 900 or something 800 was the time when Bappa Rawal was there. He defeated the Afghan chieftains and they didn't come for 200 300 years. In 1100 or so, some Tughlaqs came, they invaded and some sort of that. In 1400 or 1500, Babur came and something like that, and 500 years of destruction. Almost 200 years, almost 200. And at the time of Jahangir, at the time of Akbar, there was not even the British were very scared of Akbar, and there was no chance of Britishers to come. As during the time of Gupta period, India controlled 50% of global GDP. At the time of Akbar, it was 25%. At the time of Aurangzeb, I think it was 10%. And when we were left from the hands of Britishers did the most exploitation. The Britishers' part was what they left was about 2 to 3% only, and now it's, I think, increasing again. So we have been looted. The things which we had, and everything was balanced. And I think if a book related to Ikigai is written, I thought that there would be something mentioned to India also in this, but I didn't saw anything. But it's okay, it's fine. And what we learned today is that the life is a very much of a subtle and narrow division and department in front of God and in front of us also, and we need to handle that very precisely, and we need to be humble every time, face any challenges, and try to achieve what we want. What I have learned from this chapter is that you have your passion, your vocation, your profession, and what was the fourth thing? Where is that diagram? Your mission. And there is Ikigai in between. You have to make a balance in everything, and you cannot achieve, or you cannot go extreme towards anything. If you go extreme towards anything, then you might lose that also and lose the other three also. Instead, follow Ikigai. Follow this precise way of living. You can do it slowly, do it gently, but do it better. And the worst part of a society is what first thing mentioned in here, people want to live alone. And this mentions that you have to live in societies and be better with your mates and be better with your friends. Help them in their financial conditions and don't just make them more go in depression and all that. But in today's society, if we go, we will not find more than 10 people whom we can talk to about everything and tell them our problems and tell them our things that have to be solved. This is a bit of challenge for us and challenge for me. So what I will learn from this is I actually do help people, but I'm just a student right now. How can I help you? If I help myself, then that is much better. So I think if I find my friend doing something wrong, or if I find my friend in problem, I will help him. And one takeaway that I want to take from this book is that also there's one takeaway before this book also, that I will want to go to and I want to make my family and myself more and more towards pure and natural way. Means I should have a village home. I should have 5-10 acres of land. Not much is required to live. I should have pure soil. In India, soil is very much now diluted with DDTs and pesticides and everything. So the soil is also polluted, the air is polluted, the seeds are also polluted, the water and everything. So what I will try is what I will daily go and research how can I do proper organic farming and organic living, so that what Kigai said can be followed in India in a more better way. So what Ikigai said should be followed in Tenjiku in a better way. That was just the video, and that was some sort of, we can say, what we everyday hear from our elder parents, that don't rush it. In this AI race, we are rushing everything. Meta is making those Ray-Ban sort of glasses in which are of I think 20,000 rupees, and you can have access to Claude and everything with just one click or one whisper. The microphone is there, the recording can be done. This is all very much rushing our lives, and doing so we might reduce our lifetimes or whatever. Let's understand it. Let's understand our life. I'm also a learner, I'm also a student, I'm not perfect in anything. If I'm wrong, tell me anything, and what you have understood and what I have understood, tell me your thoughts also. And it would be good in a quite engaging part to discuss about this. Just yeah, thank you.